My name is Sid Haas with LKCS. I am the Vice President of Business Development here, and part of my responsibilities are overseeing our statement programming and development team here at the company. So our presentation today is going to be discussing e-statements, how you can improve e-statement adoption rates, how to get more account holders to enroll for e-statements, and then once they're enrolled, how you can continue to market products and services to them like you do with your paper statements currently. E-statements provide a wealth of options that aren't necessarily available via paper, so we'll be discussing some of those for you. Throughout the presentation, obviously, we'll be discussing features of LKCS's e-statement platform, but please realize that just about everything that I'm going to be talking about is available through other providers also. So if you don't currently use our e-statement solution, I certainly welcome you to take a look at it. But if you're using another provider's solution, you may very well find that some of the options we're discussing are available with them as well. For those of you not familiar with the company, LKCS was founded back in 1961 as a commercial printing company. And the founder of the company started working with a local credit union who introduced him to another credit union, and word spread from there. So over the past 50-plus years, our products and services have all been developed for financial institutions. And you can see on the screen the array of services that we offer. Certainly statement processing and e-statements is a large piece of our business. We currently provide statement services for about 150 financial institutions on a monthly basis, and we're picking up a few every month. So we would certainly welcome the opportunity to speak with you in more detail about our services, either statement related or otherwise. Today's presentation is going to focus in two key areas. Obviously, again, how you can increase your e-statement adoption. The number of people that are on electronic statements. We can share some tips and tricks that we've seen from other clients who are successful at converting people to e-statements in large numbers. And then we'll also talk about e-statement marketing. Just because e-statements save you significant amount of money each month, we want to make sure that there are still ways that you can incorporate your marketing campaigns within those e-statements and take advantage of that electronic channel to communicate with your account holders. So as we start to talk about e-statement adoption, the first step really to increasing adoption is to remove any barriers that are in the process. And that may sound counterintuitive, or you may think you've already removed some of those. But in all honesty, many of your account holders may think there are some barriers in the way, or some questions that they have that are preventing them from enrolling for e-statements. So first, you want to make sure that your enrollment process is as easy as possible. Years ago, we saw so many banks and credit unions that had paper forms, and were making people come into the physical location to sign up for e-statements. I mean, online registration for e-statements is absolutely a must-have today. So if you still have a manual process, there's got to be ways that we can, help you or show you to, how to enable that electronic registration. With our system, account holders really only need their account number, the last 4 digits of their social security number, and then they're able to set their password, set the answers to any multi-factor authentication questions, and accept the disclosure. So it's a very simple process. Literally, somebody can sign up for e-statements in less than a minute. And obviously, we have more and more clients opting to implement a home banking single sign-on. LKCS and other statement vendors, we have relationships with multiple home banking providers, which enables your account holders to simply log into home banking, click on a link to access their e-statements, and then they're presented with our disclosure, or your disclosure. They accept that disclosure, and they're instantly enrolled for e-statements. And even with our solution, they would already have access to all of their historical statements from the second they opt into receiving e-statements. So a home banking single sign-on is an extremely easy way to increase that e-statement adoption. And surprisingly, you need to explain to people that there's an easy opt-out. people don't like to be cornered. They don't want, they want to make sure that if they're not happy or they don't like, e-statements for some reason, that there's a way for them to go back to their paper statements. That's what they're used to. So with our system, there's actually a single checkbox that account holders can click to revert to receiving a paper statement. Very few people revert back, and we'll get into some of the reporting later on, but we even provide a report for you to see which people have reverted to a paper statement so that you can contact them and find out what made them go back to that paper statement. Sometimes it's simple, their computer died at home and they needed to get their statement, and they're going to replace that computer next month or the month after. So there are reasons that people want to know that they can go back to paper statements. And if you didn't want to have that simple checkbox, certainly we can show you how within our management system you can manually set somebody back to receiving a paper statement if you don't want them to have that control themselves. But it is important, especially for the people that are, less computer savvy than others, for them to know that there's a way out, that they can go back to receiving that paper statement. And one thing that you can consider, in this case, is using an email marketing solution. Most of our customers now are sending, email messages at least a monthly basis to clients, to their account holders. But you can actually enable a one-click enrollment right from an email message. So, send out a message to your home banking users, to all of the people that you have email addresses for, explain the benefits of eStatements, and let them click a button right in that email to tell you that they want to enroll for eStatements. That's a very simple process, and right away they can be sent, a reply back with a link to actually log in to the to eStatements and accept that disclosure, so that from that point forward they would be receiving an electronic statement. Step two is obviously to really promote the benefits of eStatements and promote what is in it for the end user, for the member, for the customer that is signing up for eStatements. And the first of those, and probably the most popular, if you do a Google image search for eStatement, I don't think you'll see anything other than ads showing that eStatements are green, right? They're eco-friendly, and it's true. There's a debate about data centers and how much energy data centers use, but overall, eStatements, are certainly green. And you can see some of the numbers, facts, and figures on your screen here, showing exactly what that means, not only to the member and customer, but to your financial institution as well. And it is interesting that women are much more likely to say that environmental impacts are more important to them in their banking decisions. So that's something that you can use for marketing purposes as well. eStatements are much safer than paper statements. So anybody that's concerned with security, obviously having a mailbox with a statement, inside of there is leaving your account information, basically open to anybody who walks up to that mailbox. Obviously, now most vendors, including LKCS on the paper statements, do things like, we can mask the account numbers. So complete account numbers don't need to appear on the statements. We're no longer printing Social Security numbers on statements like we did several years ago. Different things like that are certainly helping to protect member information. But there's nothing that we can do with a paper statement that protects them anywhere near the level of an electronic statement. You can see, using standard 128-bit certificates, security certificates, you can see what VeriSign says about how difficult those are to break. They're extremely safe. Vendors like LKCS, we're SOC 2 certified. We have independent auditors verify our security procedures, and we also have third-party companies actually provide, essentially try to hack into our network twice annually and provide external vulnerability assessments. All of that, is done to continue to protect member information, in addition to the use of these 128-bit security certificates. So obviously, this goes to any type of secure website, but continue to educate your account holders about looking for that lock symbol in their browser. And over the past several years, a newer type of technology has enabled this type of green bar that appears in the browser and actually identifies, in this case it's identifying us, but it could identify your financial institution as the owner of the website. This is what's called an extended validation certificate. It provides the same level of security as a standard certificate, but visually to your members and customers, this further identifies the owner of the site, as either LKCS or your bank or your credit union. The key to security about any website, including eStatements, is to remind users to protect their account numbers and passwords. That's the key to eStatement security, home banking security, credit card security, anything that's online is the use of obviously a strong password. Our standalone eStatement platform, in other words, without a single sign-on, members don't even use their account number to sign in. They set their own username and password. And we're seeing that obviously more often now with online banking systems as well. Additional benefits that eStatements provide that you can use to explain to your account holders is obviously faster delivery. Here our eStatements are typically available, within a business day of receiving your statement data file. Those email notifications go out, right away, and members and customers can log in and view their eStatements, sooner than we're even printing and inserting those statements. So typically you're looking at least 1 or 2 days in advance, sometimes, much longer than that, that your eStatements are available before the mail is delivered. Obviously, eStatements are available from anywhere, with internet access, and account holders have instant access to their account history. They don't need to dig up statements, in their file cabinets or in their file boxes. I know at our house, we've got boxes and boxes of things downstairs in the basement. Nobody wants to have to go through those for any reason at all. So obviously, you can have that account history online. And our clients are asking for longer and longer retention periods. So we have some clients that actually have over 2 years of statements available to their account holders online. And eStatements are free. I don't know of anybody that's charging, obviously, for eStatements. We'll talk about charging for paper statements as we go through. Step 3 is really to wow your users. Again, people know what to expect when they open a paper statement. They know what it's going to look like. They know what information is going to be on it, but they don't know anything about their experience, what their experience is going to be online. So deliver a premium experience. Make sure that your eStatement solution is easy to use. Make sure it looks nice, and give features that they don't have, with paper statements. For example, make sure your site is branded to match your institution. You can see 2 examples here. I'm not even sure, who provides the top one, but you can see, a difference to your account holder. When they log in, they're going to recognize that this is coming, from their bank or their credit union. They're going to recognize the branding elements. They're going to see a very simple interface. If they, if I need to view any of my statements, I can instantly see which months of statements are available to me. Click on one of those and load my statement. Obviously, just a presentation of the statement itself. In this case, this is one customer that had what we called, I guess a standard-looking statement, for many, many years, and then recently chose to have their statement reformatted. We're presenting that reformatted statement both in print and online, and obviously you can see a huge difference in the legibility and readability of that statement. And we're beginning to show some of the marketing capabilities both in paper statements and in eStatements, and we'll talk about that, moving forward as well. But providing this type of statement in an online atmosphere is much more pleasing and easier to use, for your account holders than a non-reformatted statement. And along the same lines, you can expect, hopefully, your eStatement provider to deliver multiple types of documents within the same interface. So not only can we provide your account statements, your monthly or quarterly account statements online, we can deliver your daily notices, your insufficient funds notices, your CD renewal notices, your ACH or overdraft protection notices, your credit card statements, your mortgage statements, and all of your end-of-year or mid-year tax forms can all be posted electronically right through the same eStatement interface. So obviously to your account holders, that provides a huge benefit because they know that all of their documents relating to, their accounts with you are all going to be found in one place. And obviously for you, how much more could you save if all of those types of documents were provided electronically? Mobile. You want to make sure that your e-statements are mobile friendly. This is a hugely, a very quickly growing slice of Americana, I guess. I mean, and all over the world, actually. In the U.S. right now, I looked it up, a few days ago, over 31% of all internet users are only using mobile devices to surf the web. They're not using desktop computers. They're not using laptop computers. They're using tablets and smartphones, and that's all they're using. In India, that number, by the way, is over 60%. So worldwide, that number is just exploding. So you want to make sure that your e-statement platform is mobile friendly. And you can see, obviously, some screenshots of LKCS's platform here. Simply clicking on the image of the statement actually enlarges it, whether you're using a desktop computer or a mobile device. So it's very, very easy, for people to view all of the details on their statements. Text messaging, along with the use of mobile devices, people may not want to only receive an email when their latest statement or other types of documents are available. So our platform, and I believe some others, enable text message notifications, and we go actually as far as enabling your account holders to specify if they want to receive an email or a text message or both based on the type of document that they're receiving. So maybe for the regular monthly statement, they only want to receive an email, but if they receive an overdraft notice or a negative balance notice, they want to get that text message right away. They can enable that. They specify their email address or addresses, because people have multiple email addresses, and they specify their cell phone numbers to receive texts. And that's all done, within the user preferences section, so account holders have control over those notifications. So moving on to step 4 and how to improve e-statement adoption is obviously to start with the easy ones. Pick the low-hanging fruit. Start with your home banking users. These are your account holders that are accessing their information electronically already. So they're the ones that should be easy for you to convert to electronic statements, and go after them again and again and again and again. Keep pounding those home banking users, even directly within home banking. If you have the capability to place, e-statement ads for people that are not yet enrolled for e-statements, that's a great place to obviously promote those services. Contact them by email, like we had talked about earlier with that one-click opt-in, and obviously continue to build those email addresses. Remember what I said, that people have multiple email addresses. Email addresses are somewhat disposable now. I have several, and I think most people now have several. I have some that I use just for family. I have one that I use just for when I'm shopping online. Obviously, I have business email addresses, and I have other home email addresses. So, it's surprising. I was talking with one of our clients yesterday about how most core processing systems, now that they have an email address field, many of them only have the opportunity to capture one email address. But obviously continue to capture as many of those as you can, and continue to contact your core, your core system vendors and ask for additional email fields if you don't have them. LKCS clients, a lot of them have converted huge percentages of their online banking users to e-statements. Again, these people are in your electronic channel already, so it should be a fairly easy sell to get them to opt in to e-statements. For the other account holders, just continue to promote. You have to market electronic statements. It's just like, in Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come. It's not necessarily true. E-statements are the last thing on your account holders' minds. They're worrying about everything that's on their schedule, everything they have to do at work, at home, with the kids, and all the other demands on their time. So just because e-statements are the most important thing, or one of the most important things to your financial institution, doesn't mean that it's important in the lives of your account holders. So utilize all of the different media that you're using for all of your other marketing messages. Use direct mail, put banner ads on the website and inside of home banking. Use the email marketing as we've talked about. Put banners and links within online banking, within bill pay, on your website. Use your deposit slips and your ATM receipts, all the things that we're listing there, and certainly promote e-statements within your paper statements. Use envelope backer ads. Try to open an envelope without looking at the back of it. It's very difficult to do. So there's a 4-inch by 9-inch billboard that you can use to promote electronic statements. Use statement inserts if you have to. If you have the ability to print, ads or what we call inserts directly onto the statements, go ahead and do that. But use your paper statements to promote e-statements. At LKCS, our e-statements and our paper statements can have different ads and different combinations of graphics and different messages and all of those types of things. So it's very, very easy for you to promote e-statements with your paper statements and not have to, subject your e-statement members to an e-statement ad. They can, receive a campaign or a promotion for obviously a different service that they're not yet taking advantage of. Consider a raffle drawing. Give away, whatever the latest technology is, whether it's an iPad or a camera, whatever it is. A Kindle even. But we've seen that these types of contests, raffle drawings, dramatically improve e-statement registrations up to, a 3-time rate. So triple your sign-ups by offering a prize. And I would also recommend that you draw from all of your e-statement users to maintain that loyalty, not just, the new people that have signed up for e-statements. What you're seeing on the screen is some of the reporting that LKCS provides. So you can actually run what we call an end-user enrollment report, specify the date range, so that you capture people that enrolled within a certain dates, or don't specify it and get everybody that's enrolled for e-statements. That will open up right in Excel, and then you can just go to any empty cell on the spreadsheet and type a very simple command into that cell to generate a random number. So if you have, say 300 people on this list, you can generate a random number between 1, 300. It'll pick the number, and there's your winner of the contest. So it can be random. It can be very simple. This whole process, from running the report to executing that command in Excel, maybe takes you a minute or two, and we'd be happy to show you how to do that. Incentivize your employees, run contests between branches. Your frontline staff can do the work for you. Give them the tools they need, give them a banner, give them some posters, give them buttons or t-shirts, give them opt-in forms if you need to, so that people can sign up for e-statements right online, and then you can send them the disclosure electronically, to meet the regulatory requirements. But set up those incentives and have your branches compete with each other. Give your tellers $1 or $2 or whatever it takes, for each e-statement sign up. Set up an e-statement demo kiosk if you don't already have something to demonstrate home banking and bill pay and e-statements. Set up a computer in the lobby. Have an employee responsible for greeting people as they come in, and show them the e-statements and get them to sign right up, right when they're in your building, and then obviously help them with the transaction that they came for. Really, the key is just to continue to ask people to sign up for e-statements. What we see so many times is that there's an initial push, for electronic statements when you launch, and then it's just one of those products and services that are out there, and it just slows down, I guess, adoption rates. So continue to ask, continue to incentivize, your frontline staff. Just keep bringing it up, explaining those benefits to get people to enroll. For your new accounts, for people that walk in the door for the first time, there's no reason that they need to have a paper statement ever. They can enroll for e-statements in our system. They can enroll for e-statements even before they have a document available for them, and I guess make them tell you if they don't want to receive an e-statement, but just consider that as the way that you're going to do business is to sign them up for e-statements. And obviously you have the ability to control, pricing and bundling of your products, so design some to minimize or eliminate fees, for the people that sign up for e-statements or other electronic services. And, for some people, you're just going to have to, do what we call buy the opt-in. Everybody wants something, for their effort. I hear that from my kids all the time. What's in it for me? What we found is that about the $3 to $5 cost is the magic figure when it comes to enticing people to enroll for EStatements. So you can, deposit, $5 in their account. You can, provide a logoed product in that $5 range as the incentive. Whatever it is, it doesn't seem to matter. But there's some value that's tied to EStatements, and we see it that it's about, $5. Over that, you can certainly spend more than that if you want to. But we haven't seen it, being really necessary. So have those incentives available, at your teller windows, at your drive-up windows. Get people to, opt in for EStatements right there and earn that reward. Here's a few ideas for you, from our logoed product catalog. There are literally thousands of products, in that $5 range that you can consider. There's everything from live spruce trees that, live for months in the refrigerator, to calculators and water bottles, you name it. I mean, they're out there. We can certainly give you ideas. You can find them on our website, or we can even send you a PDF of specific recommendations for EStatement campaigns. Step 6 is to charge for paper. I am not a fan of doing that. We're seeing customers doing it, more and more often. I tend to say, remember that old saying that you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. You're not going to make friends charging for paper statements, but it can work. I mean, we're seeing it work, for our clients. There is more work involved than you think. Obviously, you have to update your policies. You're going to have to make core system changes. What we're hearing from our clients is that, the goal of charging for paper statements isn't really the fee income. It's just, to provide that momentum, I guess, that need for people to sign up for EStatements. So then they've got, just huge numbers of fee reversals, especially in the first few months, of implementing a paper statement fee. So that there's definitely positives and negatives to it. I think with effective marketing, at the beginning and on an ongoing basis, I don't necessarily feel that there's a need for you to charge for paper statements. And I can tell you that many of our clients have exceeded already 50 and 60% EStatement penetration rates without needing to charge for paper. Track the results, obviously, of your EStatement adoption campaigns. Monitor new statement enrollments during marketing campaigns. What's working. And again, we showed you how with our reporting system, you can track exactly how many people opted in for EStatements within a specific date range. Look for those people who reverted back to paper statements. Contact them and find out why they switched back. You have their email address, you have their phone number. It may not be their current phone number, obviously, with now, how many people's phone numbers are changing regularly. But you have the ability to contact them and ask them, what was wrong with EStatements? What happened that made you go back to paper statements? What can I do, to get you to opt back in for EStatements? And then you have the ability to match back account numbers, for any email campaigns, any direct mail campaigns, anything that you're sending out. You can correlate them directly, with the account numbers of the people that signed up for electronic statements. We hear a lot, well, we don't have, I'm too busy with other marketing, items. I don't have the budget. Well, remind your senior management that every person who signs up for EStatements will probably save you at least 50 cents per month. So there's a calculation that you see by signing up 2,500 new EStatement members at a savings of 50 cents per month. You're showing a monthly savings of $1,250 and an annual savings of $15,000. And that's an ongoing annual savings. That's every year that you have those 2,500, account holders. And again, we've seen, a significant number of customers now have exceeded over 60% of account holders on EStatements. That's a huge amount of money, some of which can go back to your marketing budgets, and the rest can go into, into operational budgets and other coffers at your institutions. So before I jump into EStatement marketing, I'm curious to find out what percentages of your account holders are currently opted in for EStatements. So if you can answer the poll that's on your screen, we'll leave it open for a few seconds. And then I'll share the results for everybody. So I'm seeing some responses come in. give you a few more seconds to answer. All right, I will go ahead and close the poll and share the results. So what you see now on your screen are the answers that you've given me. And 56%, of the people in the webinar today have less than 20% EStatement enrollment. You've got some work to do. I mean, you can certainly improve that. We see the average right around 20% for our clients, but we know that the clients that market EStatements effectively get much higher numbers than that. 11% of you are doing quite well. And I'm very happy to see that nobody answered I don't know, because I've run this poll before and we were surprised to see how many people really didn't know what percentage of your account holders are signed up for EStatements. So, again, if any of these ideas, tickled your fancy, give me a call, shoot me an email. We'll be happy to discuss them in more detail, send you examples of what clients have done and move on from there. So now we're just going to get into, once you have, your account holders opted in for EStatements, it doesn't mean that you should sacrifice all of the marketing opportunities that you have with your paper statements. Especially for those people that are getting your statements on a monthly basis, those are your best account holders. They're the ones with checking accounts and the ones with loans. How are they going to learn about your latest specials and newest products? They're not always going to go to your website. Obviously, if you have the ability to promote inside of home banking, that's terrific. You have the ability to send emails, that's great. And obviously direct mail. But statements are still opened, both e-statements and paper statements, by a high percentage of your account holders. So including marketing within your e-statements is important. And I'll show you how easy it is and how powerful it can be. So on the e-statement itself, you should have the ability, and many systems do, to provide banner ads. Those banner ads appear in our system above the statement itself. They can link to PDFs, they can link to web pages, they can link to all of your promotions, everything that's running, currently. And that's also how we link, by the way, to your newsletters and to statement stuffers that you're including with your paper statements. So provide those electronic banner ads, make sure they link to appropriate information. And send that information out with your e-statements each month. Those, by the way, can appear for all account holders, or they can selectively appear for different groups of account holders. So just like you can selectively insert, statement inserts based on, ages or demographics or account relationships, we can do the same thing with those banner ads. Obviously, with our paper statements, we have the ability to display what we call statement ads or onserts. Onserts get displayed or printed on the paper statement or on the electronic statement, where an insert gets included in the envelope. So this is an example of an onsert. These can be for any purpose, and again, they can be, displayed to different groups, or different ads can be displayed to different groups of your account holders. Just an option for you to consider right on the electronic statement itself is one of these onserts. And remember, with electronic statements, color doesn't cost more. The cost of printing color is going down, but it still costs more to print a statement in color than it does to print a statement in black and white. But there's no additional cost for you to present your statement in color as an electronic statement. And you can see in these examples here, your eyes are immediately drawn to those two color ads and not to all of the black text and statement information, that's appearing within that statement. Customize that e-statement notification email. This is just one example, not a particularly graphical one, but it's very, very easy, for customers to send us information that they want to incorporate into that email notification. Rather than just sending an email that says, hey, your latest statement is available. In this case, they're reminding people about their annual, pancake breakfast and meeting. They're talking about a t-shirt sale they've got going on, whatever it is. Well, we can show you dozens of examples, some a lot more graphical than this one, that are a little bit more work, but this is, just as easy as it gets. You're sending that email out anyway, so why not right within that email, let people know of the newest things that are going on at your institution. For those of you that have a dedicated, or a separate EStatement Login, use that login page to, just like you do for your home banking and the home banking login potentially right on your home page, use that EStatement Login information, EStatement Login to present information about what's happening, at your bank or credit union. In this case, actually, this client has two tabs. One tab shows their online banking login, the other shows their EStatements login, and the information presented there is the exact same. So they have all of their, basically, all the information that goes into their paper newsletter is also presented, on their homepage with links, for more information. And then obviously, I just want to spend a couple of seconds just to talk about EStatement Management because, to financial institutions, banks, and credit unions, it's important for you to keep track of not only how many people, are enrolled, but all the different things, all the different information that you can get from an EStatement platform. So how do you check or modify EStatement user settings, right? If an account holder calls with a question or an issue with EStatements, how do you make sure, how do you help them? How do you see if they're enrolled for EStatements? How do you reset their password? All of those types of things. How many people signed up for your EStatements during your last marketing campaign? Is that easy for you to find out? Again, like we talked about already, how many total EStatement users do you have? Who is signed up for EStatements? Who's not signed up? How difficult is it for you to extract that information out? If you want to send an email or a direct mail piece out to the members that aren't signed up for EStatements or the customers that aren't signed up for EStatements, can you get that information easily? What about those email addresses, that you're sending notifications to? Which of those are bouncing back? You're not necessarily required to send that email. It's a courtesy. But at the same time, you may want to know who it is and reach out to those, to those account holders, check in on all the other relationships that they have, with the bank or credit union, and get an updated email. You're going to want that for all sorts of purposes. How difficult is it for you to find which of those emails are bouncing back? You can see that right within our interface. And how do you actually view that account holder statement? Or their EStatement? Do you have to go to an archive, to a CD or a DVD that you've got somewhere in the back room? Do you have to pull up a non-reformatted version, of a statement that looks different than what that account holder received? With our EStatement platform, you actually have the ability to view all of your account holder statements, whether they're signed up for EStatements or not. You're able to view them all online in the exact format that they received them, either via paper or, electronically. It can be extremely easy, and these types of management capabilities separate, one EStatement platform from the next. Here's just a couple screenshots again of our reporting solution. It's very, very robust. We have the ability to even build custom reports for our clients, but right on the screen, you can see how many total EStatement users were enrolled, how many enrolled in the last 30 days, and then get all sorts of information about, in this case, the end user enrollment report or an email address bounce back report. This drop down lists at least half a dozen, if not more, reports that are available for our customers, just to see exactly what's going on with their EStatements. And that's really all I have for you. So I greatly appreciate the time you spent with us today. I'm certainly available to answer any questions that you have, or any comments. I will stay on the line, so please, type any questions that you have into that GoToWebinar toolbar. And, I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks very much.